there's a tradition of philanthropy here, but it's very much old style philanthropy. And I think the part of that model where India I think has quite a lot of potential is market-based solutions to poverty, where the philanthropist comes in and provides the capital to do a lot of experimentation around trying out models of delivering services like education or clean water or healthcare that if they can crack the business model, the for-profit market can then scale it up. And there's this movement also called impact investing, which is part of the new philanthropy, which is where you're trying to get both financial returns and social benefit at the same time, or environmental benefit. And I think in those two areas, India is probably one of the leading areas of experimentation, where there's quite a lot of potential. You've got to remember that even in America, this whole new Philanthrocapitalism is really only 15 years old in any serious form. And so if you jump across to India, I guess the BPO movement really only started to generate massive fortunes in the early part of this, about 10 years ago, when you started to see people like Azim Premji and Nilakanis and so forth emerge and start to think about giving. And the older style people like the Reliance, the Ambanis, have had other matters to bother themselves before they've come to talk about giving. Tata's obviously got a long tradition of it, but I think this is still early days. What I'm very certain about is that there's enormous opportunity and potential in India because of the need and because of the fact that you have quite a good rule of law, that the government wants to encourage this, that there's a lot of entrepreneurial spirit in India, and there's a lot of awareness of the potential of market-based solutions, that a lot could happen. Well, I think you are. I think you're seeing, as I say, I visited, when I was writing Philanthrocapitalism, I went to see the Premji Foundation, and felt they were really grappling with some quite tough issues about the education system, how to get. I think one of the things they found was that the government had got computers into classrooms, but the teachers didn't know how to use them, and so the computers were just sitting there unused. And so they were putting a lot of thinking into how do we get teachers to actually be capable of teaching the kids, and how do we create parental pressure on the teachers to actually teach the children to use the computers. And so there was some really quite interesting thinking going on at the time when I visited. I think there's, as I say, a lot of interesting. Pratham is interesting with its educational work. Interesting business people that are trying to do some to make a difference in a thoughtful way. So I think all the examples I've come across, well, there've been a lot of examples I've come across where people are saying, we want to figure out why this system isn't working, and we ideally want to create models that can be scaled up all across the country, or maybe around the world, to actually make a real difference. It's interesting to me that Barefoot College and its the equipping ladies to sort of promote solar energy in villages, that now that's going to 32 countries around the world. And so there's a sort of sense that they've figured out what a model is that will work in a village situation, and then they figured out how to take it internationally. And so there are a lot of kind of encouraging examples, and I think I would not be surprised if in 10 years' time India is seen as the great innovation centre, not just for sort of low-cost consumer products, but also in terms of inventive solutions to social problems. I just think there's a lot of people who are very experimental here. There's a lot of entrepreneurs that are engaging with the sheer scale of the problem, the sheer the movement of so many people into the cities, the challenges of impoverished villages, that everyone's very aware of the problem. And I just think that some of it's not like China. In China, I think it's very difficult for the new wealthy to be engaged in philanthropy that is transformational, because the government is so nervous about it. Here I don't think that's the case. I think the government may be a blockage in a way because of its inefficiencies, but it's not fundamentally hostile to it.